Hello, welcome to Play Resource Inspiration Channel. Today we're going to make a backdrop. For this you will need, from the Play Resource shop, acrylic paint, large and small paint brushes, a pencil, masking tape and some scissors. From the Play Resource scrap store you will need a large sheet of wax paper, pieces of sponge, and from your local shop you will need acetate, DVD pens and DIY rollers. You'll also need an overhead projector. First of all, I'm going to put the image onto a piece of acetate. I'm going to place the sheet of acetate over the top of a photograph. I'm going to stick it with masking tape so that it doesn't slip while I'm working. And then I'm going to draw around the shapes with a fine DVD pen. It's very important that the pen is thin, because when you project it onto the wall, it will become very thick. It's also very important that the image you use is no bigger than A4, as that is the size of the projector bed. The acetate has been set onto the projector, and use a little bit of masking tape just to stick the acetate to the projector so it doesn't move while you're drawing. The projector can be moved forwards if you want the image to be smaller, or it can be moved backwards away from the wall if you want the image to be bigger. Now I'm ready to draw the outline of the picture onto the wax paper. I've put a thick edge of masking tape around the outside of the wax paper just so I don't accidentally put paint on the wall. I'm now ready to start mixing the paints that I'll be using. When you buy your paint, you'll find that you probably need maybe one bottle of each colour, but you'll need about 3 bottles of white. So you generally find you need more white than any other colour. When I start to mix the colours, I always put the lightest colour in first. So I'm going to be mixing up a pale blue for the sky. So I need to put in white first with just a small amount of blue. Okay, I'm now ready to start painting. I'm going to paint the background first, and usually that's the best approach to take. Always paint the background first before you do any detail. Now in this case, the background is going to be the sky. I'm going to just to blend a little bit, I'm just putting a little bit more. I'm going over the top of the dark blue with my light blue roller. And that's kind of blending the two colours together so it's not such a definite line. That space there is for buildings, which we'll paint in detail later. And that'll do for that wee bit there. Okay. I'm now going to start painting the foreground, which is the river. I've added water to the paints this time to make them more like a watercolour. And I'm going to use brushes instead of rollers because the brushes are really good for blending. And I'm just looking at the photograph every so often just so that I can try and recreate it as close as possible without being too pernickety about it. I'm now ready to paint the crane. I've left this till last because it's the main subject of the painting and has the most detail. I'm going to be using the acrylic paint straight out of the bottle because it's lovely and thick and spreads smoothly and has a rich, vibrant colour. Okay, I'm now going to do a little bit of printing, and I'm going to use some sponge with the acrylic paint. The paint is lovely and thick, so it's really ideal for this. Okay, we're now on the final part of the painting, which is to paint the reflections of the crane in the water. This will involve putting a light colour, yellow, over the top of a dark colour, which is the blue. Ordinarily it's not possible to do that, but because the acrylic is so versatile, we can do that. The most important thing with this technique is that you wait for the first coat, the blue dark coat, to dry first. And that's our backdrop finished. The majority of the materials I've used today are available at Play Resource.